Hello everyone, today I have a very special video on one of my favorite games of all time, Slime Rancher, made by indie studio Monomi Park and released on August 1st, 2017. I know I say one of my favorite games of all time a lot, but it's true. I just happen to have covered 3 of my favorite games in my first 6 videos.
I guess I just like liking things.
Unlike my Uncharted videos, this is going to be less of a full review and breakdown of the game, and more of my personal experience with the masterpiece that is... The game begins with the playable character, Beatrix LeBeau, arriving on a planet known as the Far Far Range. Now this game doesn't really have a story necessarily, but the context of the game is that the player is this girl who lives on this planet and wants to have a slime farm. That's it. But the game doesn't really need a story. The player just gets a few little prompts to get them started, and other than that you just have to figure out the whole game by yourself. Basically, the way you progress is by finding these big slimes called Largo and feeding them their favorite type of food until they pop and you get a slime key. A slime key can open a new area or a shortcut to an area you've already unlocked. The way you farm in this game is by feeding slimes so that they poop out a little gem called a plort. You can put the plorts into this machine and get money for new technology, upgrades, and more space on your farm. And the further you travel, the more valuable the plorts are from the slimes in those areas. After the beginning area, there's a more rocky section called the Indigo Quarry, and across this rickety wooden bridge you can find the entrance to the Moss Blanket, a forest-like area with giant mushrooms and other plants that glow at night. In the Moss Blanket, there's a cool puzzle with all these slime statues that leads into the Ancient Ruins, which is exactly what it sounds like, a huge flooded, overgrown structure where you can find some of the most valuable slimes. In the Ancient Ruins, you can also find a simpler version of the statue puzzle that teleports you to the Glass Desert, which is... a desert. The Glass Desert is also the final area of the game where you can get to the credits. Every area has new slimes, crops, and hens to discover, and boy are there a lot of slimes. There are pink slimes, rock slimes, tabby slimes, phosphor slimes, rad slimes, boom slimes, puddle slimes, hunter slimes, honey slimes, fire slimes, dervish slimes, tangle slimes, mosaic slimes, quantum slimes, and crystal slimes. And they're all so cute. I mean, look at this silly little guy. I don't really have the experience of figuring this game out on my own because the first time I played this game I had a lot of help from one of my friends who had already played it. We just Snapchat called each other every night for like 3 days and played Slime Rancher while he guided me through the first few sections, and eventually I went off on my own and I got pretty far until... On May 19th, 2022, the single most devastating event of my life occurred, and it changed the course of my life forever. A moment of pure despair that I won't soon forget. On the night of May 18th, I had gotten to the credits of the game, went back to my ranch and began grinding upgrades like building drones to do tasks for me, trading with the other ranch owners to unlock new areas. I played Slime Rancher from 8 PM that night to 4 AM the next morning. Every time I thought about turning off the game, I thought of one more thing I should do before going to bed, and that one thing turned into another, and another, until another hour had passed me by. So I played for 8 hours straight. I unlocked multiple areas, and added tons of new things to my ranch, and didn't save a single time. So when I finally decided I was done, the game crashed. And I opened the game back up to find this. It was gone. All my little slime boys, my ranch I spent so long building and upgrading, gone like that in the blink of an eye. To say I was distraught would be the biggest understatement in all of history. I was utterly traumatized for months on end, mourning the loss of my beloved ranch, Blibbly Farms. I thought I could never recover from this horrible tragedy until my older brother, hearing me praise the game over the past few months since my great loss, had decided to play the game for himself that fateful December. So I took the role of my friend who had aided me through my first playthrough. The student had become the teacher, and over the course of a few days over that winter break, I guided my then 20-year-old brother through a game made for small children. And by watching my brother enjoy and play the game, and helping him along the way, I regained my full love and appreciation for Slime Rancher. This is a game consisting of exclusively nothing but fun and happiness. Slime Rancher is simply incredible. I've spent weeks on multiple saves throughout the past nearly 2 years since I first played the game, and I've grown to love it more and more with each playthrough. I couldn't recommend this game enough, so please, if you can, play it. I promise you won't regret it.